Everybody, I guess we're going to have a little bit of a debate here tonight, so let's get into it.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Hey, everybody, welcome to Late Horror Show. I am Dino, as always, and that is Ginger, as always. What's going on, Ginger?
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we've got a lot of opera fans in the audience. Let's see, we've got Connie, we've got Edward. What's going on, Edward? And Justin. Hello. So here we go. We are going to talk about where the frick is everybody? Where is everybody? We are going to talk about Opera 1987. This is Dario Argento, a classic Giallo film. I love this film. This is up there as one of my favorite Giallo films of all time. It's Deep Red, it's Suspiria, it's Opera, Inferno.
Crystal Plumage.
They're all Dario Argento, but definitely good to see you guys. Adam for Christ, here we are. Harry Scott, what's going on? Definitely good to see everybody in the chat. Listen, Opera 1987, written and directed by Dario Argento. I have to admit right off the bat of my crush on Betty, the main protagonist in this film.
No way. No way.
No, can you believe
Who could
that?
fathom? Who could fathom?
She is just so beautiful. Anyways, and people, I've seen so many reviews say ravens. They're crows.
The ravens. They call them ravens in the movie.
Do they?
Yes.
Duh. Okay, so there you go. But they're crows. Batman Conquers. What's going on? Awesome movie. Love it. Frank McLeod. Good to see you here. What's going on?
Frank McLeod, I feel the same way. How
many freaking Jello films is it? Listen, there's going to be some changes here. First of all, how can you go wrong with the Dario Argento Giallo films? I get what Ginger's whole thing. Listen, I'm right there, right along with you with five out of 10 on a lot of the old ones, but I'm taking a journey, and I think we've reached this journey because I don't even think you cared too much for this one either, and it kind of perplexes me. This is kind of a gem of a film, horror film, Italian horror film, Giallo film.
This movie is an hour and 47 minutes, Dino. How dare you?
Perfectly done.
How dare you? The audacity, an hour and 47 minutes for this.
Perfect. Hey, Becca Too
This ain't no Lord of the Rings. This ain't no Star Trek. An hour and 47 minutes of my life.
That is not too long for this film. This film is probably the last great Dario Argento film.
Rest in peace.
And one of his best Giallo films. So he kind of left with a bang. Listen, standouts for this film have got to be, for me, the kills, the ingenuity of the way I know this all sounds bad, but this is coming from a horror lover, a lover of horror films. The way the torture scenes are, the way he incorporates it with, and I don't like torture in films, but there's a way, like the needles and the tape.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about this movie, please, yes, I want to get to that, but let's just start. Let me tell you all the things that I don't like about this movie.
And how about the way he incorporates the heavy metal music within the kill? As soon as the kill starts.
What was that other movie that does this? We reviewed another movie that kind of did this.
Well, his movie prior to this, Phenomena, he kind of did that with the kills. I
like Phenomena better than this.
Oh, something. Oh
What did I
no.
tell you before we
I
started?
know.
I
So
said,
I know. I
don't
know.
shame
I
me
know. I'm
or
not
belittle
shaming.
me. Let me have my
I'm not.
opinion.
Listen, I understand 100% why it's just not your thing. I get it. But
You know,
this
that's
one,
it. Do you know what, Dino? That's it. I want to like Giallo. I want to because you love it so much. It's just not my thing.
I no, evidently not. Evidently not. But
And you
that's my
sound astounded, and see, this makes me sad because it's like I'm disappointing you because I don't really
Justin.
like these Giallo movies.
Justin says Phenomenon is better. Okay, listen, I'm not going to say anybody's right or wrong, but opera is from the beginning to the end incorporates so much good. Listen, the from the cinematography
Puts a lot of stuff in there. I'm showing a little
cinematography
cringe, I think.
that Dario uses, and his direction of the filmmaking itself. There's so many things to get
There was
into in
some good
film.
camera work in this movie. There was some really, really,
Oh,
really good
beautiful
camera work in
camera
this
work.
movie. Yes.
Locations, fantastic. I mean, everything that Dario Argento is about is in this film and incorporated to like the highest degree. I can't
One
say
of the kills,
enough
one of the
about
kills
this
in this
film.
movie.
Yeah,
Somebody on your Discord channel today, it was John McKee. He put
yeah.
up, did you see the picture he put on Discord this morning? The guy that got shot in the eyeball with an arrow. I said foreshadowing.
Listen,
The
there are
kill at the
kills in
let me
this.
finish. I wasn't
Okay,
finished. The kill at the end of this movie that I'm not going to give away. I think it might be this next to the last kill. The
yeah,
last kill before the very end.
yeah. Which is oh god.
It has to do with looking out of a peephole of a door. That is the best.
Fantastically
That's
done.
the best camera work I think I've ever seen in any of these Giallo movies. It was fantastic. I wanted
Amen,
to watch it
sister.
over and over and over. It was so good.
Yes. The way he incorporates that, and when we get to it, we'll talk about it. All the kills in this movie are freaking unbelievable. And hello, John McKee, Frida D'Onofrio. Good to see you again. Good day. Good
Still
day.
not my
Thank,
favorite. Not my favorite.
what is better than this one? What have we seen anyways, I'm not going to ask you that. Let's
I
just
just said I
focus.
like Phenomena better.
Okay. Well, let's focus on this one because
Hell, I like New York Ripper better than this.
well, I like New York Ripper too. So, I think there at least needs to be a countdown of these films or a ranking of these films.
Well, your countdown looked greatly different than mine. So
Certainly will. It certainly will. Hey, CM, what is going on? Good to see you.
this Frida D'Onofrio, that's the person who just joined the Discord and everybody was saying hi. And I was like, I don't know who that is. Hi, Frida. Nice to meet you and welcome.
Yes, Frida was around a while back, I do believe, and
Okay.
is back now. So it's definitely good to see you here. So what's the movie we're talking about today, Frida? It's in the title. It's
Oh,
Opera.
no.
It's Opera,
Oh,
1987,
no.
Dario Argento. A classic Giallo film. Every Sunday and Wednesday we do this. Although it's going to be changing a little bit here. I think we're going to kind of transition into different horror genres, and she's going to leave me to do some Giallo reviews. So I'm going to tackle a lot of the rest of these. Which, you know what? In 7 years on my channel, I technically have not done horror movie reviews.
On your
I've
own.
done on my own. I've done commentaries with Ted for 5 years straight.
Oh, Horror
Then
Junkie, thank you. She's always just the
yes,
best.
thank you,
But
Horror
she's got to stop
Junkie.
posting stuff on the Discord channel like banana pudding cupcakes and that better than sex cake. I don't need that kind of fat and calories in my life. And she makes it look so
Listen,
good.
that channel on Discord is for that. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. But yes, if you guys want to know what we're talking about, if you do join the channel or the Patreon, there are links to a separate Discord group where you can share pictures, have movie nights, all that good stuff. So definitely maybe join if you want to be
And then there's the
incorporated.
streaming channel, which sometimes when there's time, when there's nothing going on in the middle of the day, Dino will just stream
Yeah,
episode after episode after episode of really great classic stuff.
yeah, definitely. No, listen.
And you can talk. We can talk to each other.
Yeah, I wish I could say is how much is really going on there, because there's kind of it's its own chat kind of place. It's its own world, and people can connect and talk and share their daily lives and stuff on the Discord group. It's just a really fun thing for everybody. Joshua Burris.
Trigger warning, there's a lot of stuff about the Eagles in there right now because of this girl.
Yeah, yeah. Joshua Burris says Deep Red. My favorite Giallo film. J.O.B. Dino, thanks again for the Twilight Zone last night. Loved it. Now back to the opera. Yeah, unfortunately, Twilight Zone is not up there no more because, again, I knew that would happen.
You did. You told me before you even put up. You said, "I know it's going to get pulled. I know it."
Yeah, it's a 12-hour stream of Twilight Zone, which again, it is all over YouTube, but some episodes, and one of them that I had in there had just it couldn't do it, so it's not there no more. But anyways, much love to you guys.
Lame YouTube.
But yet it's all over. How is RTN? I'm not sure. I haven't heard for 3 days. I just hope he's fine. So I don't know what more to say. My love goes out to RTN. Denny's a good guy and a funny guy, and hopefully he can make it here for the awards. Otherwise, maybe I might not even have the awards on Tuesday if he's not here, because what's the point? Listen, a lot of awards were going to people who actually don't even see in the chat no more.
How about that? I don't
know if I even should go ahead and do the award show, because I'm not seeing the people that were in my list of awards. So I don't know. If it's pushed, then I don't know what to say. Yes, RTN is the man. So are all of you guys. Much love to each and every one of you. I'm glad you guys enjoy this babbling on, but things are going to change up a little bit here. Like I said, me and Ginger doing this, and I am going to tackle, like I said, for the first time, kind of doing these reviews on my own. And so they're going to be much shorter. They're going to be probably, well, can Dino really do anything short? So, it's probably going to be around the 20-minute mark, something like that. But that's your typical review, I think, on YouTube. So, yes,
and then we have another thing that I want to do.
Oh, no. And I said that last night, I think, or the night before, whenever, that we're also going to tackle a kind of a supernatural type show where we're going to touch on a lot of different supernatural topics. So
hundreds, I think.
Yeah, yes, we will be talking about that for sure. Hey, Goblin Farts, what's going on? Howdy. Okay, so let's get into this film. Again,
do we have to?
Yes, we do got to. This is what we're here for, to talk about opera 1987. Unfortunately, not something you care too much to talk about, but I love it. I love it. And let's get into why.
That.
Yes, and I respect what you have to say too. The Office had the Dundees.
You got to work on that. You need to workshop that. Your delivery was not on point. Whatever.
So yeah, there you go. Hey, Harry Scott. Be right back. See you in a minute. But overnight tonight, we will have Johnny Dollar all night long. Bob Bailey, Johnny Dollar. Detective and Mayhem all night long. So
everybody loves Johnny.
Yes. So where would you like to start? Because the movie starts out very, very
strange.
If you say so, go ahead. Should I go through the
characters? You tell me what adjective you would use. Tell me.
I thought great. A POV shot of the listen, it's interesting that the story is about the cursed opera Macbeth. And yes, throughout the centuries, whatever, Macbeth it's got taken on this thing of tragedy.
Bad luck for the actors or for the production.
Yes. And a couple had happened.
Is that true? I never knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, I never
And
knew
there are a
that.
couple
You
things
know
that
who would
happen.
know that? Steer Pike.
Yeah, yeah, anyway. Hey, Mike Barrett, what's going on? Has Ginger seen Tenebrow? Yes, we did Tenebrow together. We talked
No, we
about
didn't.
Tenebrow.
That was you and Ted.
We didn't do Tenebrow.
No, we didn't. Don't confuse me with the other person. That is grimy.
Oh, how dare you? What do you mean by that?
It's grimy to compare. That's like calling me some other woman's name. Don't do that. That wasn't me. That was Ted.
I thought we did Tenebrow,
We
but
didn't. That
anyways,
was you and Ted.
I know, but me and Ted also did opera, and we're doing opera. Do I have to put you off screen for a little
Go
while and put you in
ahead. Go
timeout?
ahead.
Jeez, criminy. But yes, with Macbeth came a lot of tragedy, a lot of bad luck, and it's funny that
I
Dario
did not know that.
Argento, before this film, Dario Argento was working on putting together exactly this, a play of Macbeth,
Wow.
incorporating World War One. And well, listen, are you making fun of me? What's going on?
No, I'm not making fun of you.
There was technically going to be the same thing that you see in this movie in real life that Dario was going to do, but it fell through, and thus came this movie, and he incorporated everything he was kind of going to do in the play into this movie. So life imitating whatever you want to say. But anyways, hey Jacob, what's going on? Greg McEwen. I get called some other man's name every time I'm here. What the heck? Greg McEwen. McEwen. Hey Jacob, yeah. So it's basically about an opera, and
what is Macbeth? Does it have something to do with a father and his son?
There you go.
And there's that dynamic in this where it's about a
The Greek
mother and her
tragedy.
daughter.
Hey! It was so bright out here. You can call me Sunny. Oh God, Dave.
Sunny D.
Yeah, I think Sunny D as in Dino. I think.
No. Oh my God.
No, it's not Sunny
Right
Delight.
over your head,
No,
buddy.
it's not Sunny Delight.
Yes,
Dave,
it is. Yes, it is.
Dave,
tell him that you're talking about Sunny Delight. Good grief,
Dave, are you
man.
talking about Sunny Delight, or did you
Dave, tell him
finish
you were
that
talking about
sentence,
Sunny Delight.
or did you finish that sentence with a little slash and then a D for Dino?
Oh, how much do I
Anyway.
get? Because I'm right. How much do I get when he tells you that I'm right? How much?
Well, he may say,
how much do I get
he
when
may
you
take your
find out
side
that
right
you're
away
wrong?
anyways.
How much
Hey,
do
Linda.
I get?
Oh, God. How do I quiet her? Linda. Hello, Dino. Girl. Good to see you. Good to see you. Greg, I'd totally be smarty bummed there, but I
Where
might
is
get
Dave?
Ginger is, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm going to delete that message, Dave.
You can't. You can't. You can
So,
delete it
I
from
mean,
over there, but it'll still show up over here. Aha.
you can call me Sunny D.
Sunny D. Sunny
I know.
D.
As in the drink, right?
Yes.
So what does that make sense?
Yes,
what
it does.
Call me Sunny D.
Oh
Sunny
my
Delight.
God.
It's
Oh my
so sunny
God.
here today. You can call me Sunny Delight.
Sunny D. Sunny D because his name's Dave. Oh my God.
Or
Are you okay? Are you
Ginger,
okay?
Ginger, or it's so bright out today, you can call me Sunny D. Okay, let's move on. It doesn't really matter. In this grand scheme of things.
The sad thing is, I never know when you're being serious or when you're just messing with me.
Well, listen, either way, that doesn't matter. Hey, Dave, you had an award on Tuesday, but 50% of the people I haven't seen in like 2 weeks, so I might have to cancel the award show. It's canceled. Hollywood is gone. So Ginger, let's at least start us out with
this movie begins. There's some freaking ravens watching the orchestra rehearse in an opera house. Crows. They call them ravens in the movie. Whatever.
Yeah, but I'm calling them crows because that's what they actually got for the movie. So there you go. There's a decent little gem about the Macbeth curse called Ghost Light. Not a bad little flick. Okay, Becca, I'll check it
She's in
out.
your room.
Hey, Beth.
Dino said, "Hey, Beth." She said hi. She's looking for the cat. Cat's
My
been
son
hiding
was
all
going to
day.
give her a follow last night, and I see she's over 100. So, anyways, continuing on.
Oh, so that means you're not going to give her a follow because she's already
No,
over
she
100?
no, my son is. So, anyways, I love it when Dino and Ginger act like Waldorf and Statler.
Who? I don't know
Okay,
who that
so
is.
again, I guess I should go through the characters. Betty, the main protagonist, who is the understudy to to
The prima
Mara.
donna. I call her the prima donna.
Yeah, Mara Chikova. She's supposed to be this lead who we never see at the beginning of this
Correct.
film
Correct.
because Vanessa Redgrave was supposed to play that part, but she said, "I'm not waiting no longer to shoot this video," and she left. She got in a plane, took off, and he kind of
Oh.
worked around it and ended up doing this kind of POV shot.
Yeah, you never
And
see her. Mm-hmm.
And I think a very cool shot at the beginning of the movie where the POV, where the stuck-up little snobby little actress is backing up the whole way, and all the characters are coming in at her. Listen, he was a genius in this making of this movie. Everything, every little thing
You sound so defensive. My goodness.
was done
I
so
feel
well.
attacked.
Well, I feel a little offended when this movie, this great gem of a film, is denounced by people like you. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking, Ginger. I respect your ideas and everything to a point. Thanks, sadly,
I really don't care. Frankly, my dear.
So, well, hopefully making it during broadcast. He's an endodontist Tuesday afternoon. Okay. Yeah, hopefully you do, but that's all right. Listen, it may not even happen, but anyways, so we have those two characters. Betty's the understudy who ends up really not wanting to take the role at the beginning of the film.
She felt like she was too young, and she was. And if you believe that that's really her voice singing, there's something wrong with you.
Listen, I know it's not. Dario Argento said it
How
was the
old
worst.
was she?
Very, very young.
17, 18, 19? She said how old she was. I forget. She was either 17 or 19.
And Dario Argento in real life said that she gave him the most trouble on a set ever. She was a prima donna, and she had issues with everything. And it was her first role. So I'm not sure what was going on there, except that she had beauty on her side, and she was determined to tell Dario, "I don't like this. If you want, is this the way you do?"
She was good, though. She was good.
Oh, she was excellent. She did a fantastic job. Well, Dino's award show have a musical number. All award shows have musical numbers. J.O.Pita. Listen, like my mom being offensive. Listen, I don't know. There's lots of things I gotta work on. Change. I'm flipping this channel around again with new material. I don't think there's any more trivia nights. It's just they've been flops lately. So there's just going to be a lot of changing things, and I'm not sure what I'm going to put in place of it at the moment. So
look who's here. Look who's here.
Blue, I see Blue. Yeah, in the background. So far cleaning and looking pretty darn good right there.
She came out because my daughter came home from work. She always comes out when my daughter comes home from work. So.
Nice. Cleaning herself. How'd that feel there, Blue? So we have her as the protagonist. She's the understudy. And she doesn't want to do it because of being the play being cursed, too. The opera being cursed, too. And we're introduced to Marco, the director, played by Ian Charleson, who, after the making of this film, or during the making of this film, he got hit by a car, finding out that through blood tests that he had AIDS, and he ended up dying 3 years later.
Who's this? The guy who played Marco?
Yes, the guy who played the director in this film. He just like at
The
the
one with the
beginning of
like
the film.
white bleach blonde hair?
Yes,
Oh
yes,
my.
yeah. Three
Oh,
years.
that's really sad.
If he could have held on a few more years, they could have had some medication. You know how all that worked and stuff. But unfortunately,
That
yeah,
was
it
at the
was just
very beginning of it. That was
yeah.
87. That was like the
Yep.
very beginning of it.
But
Oh,
but
that's so
but
sad.
again, the whole kind of Macbeth thing, not that it plays a
Yeah.
part in this, it's just something that happened. But like the beginning of the film where Mara Chekova, the lead, goes out and runs off into the street and gets hit
And
by a
hit by a
car,
car and breaks her leg.
and yes, and is sitting in front of the TV a little bit later when Betty
Watching this
goes
young
on.
girl, her understudy, kill it.
Yes, and she throws a bottle at the TV, and she's pissed off and, says a couple swear words and whatnot. But and she sends a bottle of is it supposed to be perfume after the
Yeah, but
fight?
what is it though? They
I
said it
don't
smelled
know
really.
because
What
she's
is
like
it? I don't know what it was.
they're like it could be poison. I don't
It
know
was
if it
in a
was.
Chanel bottle. I was like a whole big, huge bottle of Chanel, but she opened it and it was like,
It was rancid. They said it smelled like
and
crap.
she
Well,
poured it down the drain.
yes. And her boyfriend Stefano, who is
I
the
thought he was
assistant,
gonna die.
he's the assistant director. But he's a younger boy, younger understudy to the director, Marco, who likes or is having a relationship with Betty, it seems, after the first showing of the opera. Asks for a kiss, gets it right on the lips, no problem whatsoever there. Even though during the opera scene, we can't pass over that either. Sorry, I'm not even getting anything. Hey, Beth, what's going on?
Beth, they can see you. Hold
She's
on.
like, you're driving me crazy. I hope I'm not
I
embarrassing
didn't know.
her.
I just have like a thing about privacy. I just don't like.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, don't
That's
we
my
all?
kid, I'm like, nah.
I hear you. Yes. So, continuing on, where were
Okay,
we at?
so they're always showing the point of view. There's always like some mysterious person
POV.
walking around through the opera house, and you don't know who it is because it's from their point of view. This movie has the killer is wearing a black cloth, complete stocking like mask over his head.
It's what we want to
Hi,
see.
T Many.
Too many martinis. Too many martinis. Yes, classic get up. He has a kind of a tan trench coat
Mm-hmm.
and black
Black
gloves.
gloves. Sometimes they're
Black.
latex. Sometimes they're latex. Sometimes they're
Well,
leather.
they're black gloves that are covered with a clear latex glove that you would use in a hospital to not get the blood on the gloves itself either. So
He got blood on his
interesting.
binoculars, though.
He did, and he went like this, and you could tell he was a little pissed about it because it was on there. But
Well, that's what happens when you get stabby. Blood gets on things.
but speaking of Stefano, he's gonna get it. Listen, he's one of the victims. There's I think 6 deaths in this movie, and every one of them are, I think so, are done so well. But anyways, that's kind of where we're at. There's an assistant, Mara, who is played by Daria Nicolodi, who actually divorced Dario Argento a couple years prior, but ended up being in a movie, and he asked her to come, play a role in a movie. So she did, and thus, we get what we got. So yeah, did you want to go, Ginger? I won't stop talking.
So, what was this thing in the beginning when the point of view, it's chasing a girl, and then there's another girl in there with a noose around her neck? What is that? The one girl's on the floor screaming in terror or whatever, and then there's another woman behind with a noose around her neck. What is that?
Yeah, throughout the film, hold on, CM, the Macbeth curse sprang from the fact that the Shakespeare used incantations and weird sisters scenes. This allegedly evoked evil and bad luck, thus bringing on the curse of Macbeth. There you go.
What is that?
Yes.
Okay, that's where it
So
comes from, but I'm gonna have to look that up because I want some examples. I wonder if that's in the book that you know what I'm talking about.
The Book of Blood.
um
No, the directory.
the right.
So
The
an usher confronts this mystery person and
well,
gets
no, hold
shoved
on.
in a
You
big,
just asked
huge
me a
light
question.
fixture.
You just asked me a question. There's throughout the movie, there's flashbacks that Betty is having from her childhood. You technically start to figure that out down the road.
I didn't.
You
Not until
didn't.
the end when she made it very, very clear that that's what
Well,
it was.
again, I don't know if you. What platform did you watch this on? Was it 1.5
Don't,
speed? This
don't.
is a
I
movie that
watched it
you
on
do
freaking.
not,
No, I watched it on YouTube, and no, I didn't speed it up. Well, I might have sped it up
because
to like 1.25.
some movies can be spoiled by speeding them up. But
Oh no. This
anyways,
movie's an hour and 47 minutes, Dino. That's a lot.
so there's they get a POV shot of this killer going up, and there's a lot of red herrings in this film, so they
Yeah.
do throw you off quite a bit. So the POV shot, and the POV shot is not always by the killer. We get a POV of the lead actress at the
boyfriend.
beginning,
Mm-hmm.
but so again, to throw you off a little bit. But you get this scene where they're going down the stairwell. But yes, a girl's tied up, and there's another woman that's kind of tied up
What's that?
from the ceiling a little bit. And these are flashbacks that Betty is having throughout the movie, and it pertains to just getting down to brass tacks, people. Spoilers throughout the movie, this discussion, whatever.
Oh, all the time. I hope people understand. If you come here, you're getting all the spoilers. We are literally discussing the movie from beginning to end. We're going to tell you everything.
And a discussion means a discussion. A review is a review. It's real short, and it'll usually say no spoilers. But
is T-Many being serious? T-Many Martinis, are you being serious right now?
Hold on.
She's not being serious.
Let me finish my thought here. So that pertains to her flashing back as a child, seeing her mother being hung up.
You don't
watching.
find that out until the end. How am I supposed to know that?
I'm explaining it to you now.
You don't have to explain it to me. I'm saying I found that out at the end, but you're saying I should have gotten it like right away. How would I know that?
Well, I'm not saying you should have gotten it right away, because the very
you're
first
explaining
scene,
it to me like I don't understand. I understand. It's just
it didn't take me to the end of the movie to figure it out. I figured that out a lot. It took me to the end
of the movie to figure it out. Sorry.
Okay, no. Well, listen, when you don't like a film and you're sitting there just gazing off into the clouds, then you're good.
I went into it with an open mind.
You probably had Pandora or Spotify on while you were watching the movie. You're going, oh, this sucks.
No, I was watching nail polish videos. That's my thing. I watch nail polish videos.
Okay, anyways.
And I listen to 80s music, yes.
So yes, somewhere around the midpoint, you should gather that these flashbacks of her
yes. Okay, yes. But the very first one, Dino?
No,
not the very
of
first
course.
one. I couldn't figure out what the hell was. I thought those people, it was happening right now. And those people were in the theater and this was happening right now.
Wait, what's it? Dave Fluffé, I saw her, Dino, rip a person last night wanting to watch the film. What? Oh. Because listen, Dave, sometimes the silliest things are
Dave. Listen,
I'm
Sonny
so embarrassed.
D.
Yes, I've never seen these movies. So T-Many Martinis. So you are asking. It's always in the title. If you look down below our video, you will see the title. It's opera from 1987. Listen, I'm giving up with all of that stuff. So ask away. If anybody needs to know what movie we're talking about, I'll let you know.
And no, we're not showing the movie. And if you want to ask again later, go ahead, ask. No, we're not showing the movie.
No. I heard there was a curse of wearing loud colors and doing karate chops. It is called
the McFurley.
Oh, Dave.
Hey,
Dino, Dave.
You encourage him. You encourage this behavior.
Dave, Saturday, one of these Saturdays, let me know which one. Let's do a commentary on Murder by Death. How about that? Shoot me a message whenever you want. We'll do that. Saturday night though, like we did
Right
last
in
time.
front of me, you do this. Right in front of me, you do this. Wow. Like,
It's the
wow.
Saturday
Right in
night.
front of me, you do this.
It's Saturday Night Live. No, well, it is technically.
SATURDAY night.
Oh boy.
So can we talk about when the usher confronts this mystery person and he shoves him and there's like
yes.
8 doors in
Let's
the
talk
opera?
about that in detail because that's a very interesting kill at the beginning. That's the first kill. It kind of is, and I'll discuss it when you talk about it.
Didn't we see another kill like this? We saw another kill like this. It was on a ship. It was on a boat or a ship. When he bangs the guy's head back into that.
I can't remember. There's a few.
We saw something else like that.
Yes, we've seen so many Giallo films that I can't remember which one.
It was like there was something. Was I watching that with you? I don't know.
Nope.
There was like a loop. They were on a loop, like the same thing kept happening over and over. Did we watch a movie like that?
I don't know. You're asking me things that my mind can't hold on to. Is what it can't do. But
I hear you.
And can I say the opening of the movie too? To get the camera shots of the close up of the crow, the raven.
Imagine what they had to do back then. They didn't have drones back then.
Right, but
how did they do that?
Close-ups of the crow's eye as it's moving around in a still setting, and the setting being this opera house, which you get beautiful angles and reflections of the seats and everything, and the crow's eye. And I'm only saying crow because they're real crows, but in the movie they say ravens. It's just beautifully shot. I love it. Mamma mia. Okay, the kill. So there's this usher that comes in and walks on the killer, and what happens?
He shoves him.
He does. Oh, he should have slapped him in the face.
This mystery person that we're seeing their point of view shoves the usher confronts him and says, like, you can't be up here or something like that. So the mystery person that we don't see shoves the usher, and then this big lighting rig falls and smashes.
Well, yeah, he shoves the usher.
But that happens after. First, the light fixture falls.
Oh my Lord! Before the light fixture falls, after
it's
the
all right
death.
Here. No.
Okay.
It causes a power failure in the whole opera house.
Okay, and so chaos ensues with the lighting fixture that fell.
And meanwhile, the killer's up there slamming this poor usher's head over and over and over and over, right in his brainstem, to like a hook, like a coat hook.
It looked like a coat hook phallic symbol kind of thing. I'm telling you, it looked exactly like that. And
I believe that that's how you interpreted it. I do.
And you could hear. It was
what was the whole brain thing? The whole, they'd show you just a brain, like a brain pulsating. What was that?
I think that was just going into the psyche of the killer. And every time a kill was coming on, you would see the brain kind of push. I think it was just a very odd and strange thing that Dario Argento just incorporated into it. I'll give you that it was weird and strange. David Lynch-like, kind of. It was just some weird inner workings of the brain, and like the killer's just, going on.
And they just go on. This is all happening. They just go on with the opera. They're like, just go on. Just go on.
Well, they stop, and then they say, well, the show must go on. A light fixture just fell. Nothing really happened. Hello, I'm a psycho. Good to see you. He goes, sup.
But you know what, though? That was done. They actually dropped that light fixture down on the ground, and there were people like right beside it.
No,
they did that.
No safety precautions?
Exactly.
Oh, I don't want to talk about this film no more. One of my favorite Giallo.
I can't stand you.
Also, the Brian scenes are yuck. Yes, and I'll talk about that. I'm a Psycho. I'll talk about that in a minute, because actually there's some very, very cool scenes in here. It's an actual opera. Okay, too many martinis. Too many martinis. I love you. I love you. Hope to see you in chat in the overnight old time radio streams. But I have to tell you, it's not an opera. I would not be on this show talking about operas. I'm talking about a movie, a real movie, horror movie, Italian horror, Dario Argento. It's an opera that's going on in the film. A Macbeth. And I do love how he interprets the opera.
Yeah, I was
on
going
the
to say an
stage.
interpretation of Macbeth.
Well, right. It's tragedy, everything. You can have it many different interpretations of Macbeth.
I'm just saying.
I mean, come on.
I'm just saying. So the prima donna is at home watching the performance, and this girl killed it. And the prima donna is at home with her leg up in a cast watching the film, and she gets very upset.
Hey, Justin Cordero. What's going on? Good to see you in the chat. Hey, Leanne Roche, accompanied by. Okay. Continue, Ginger. Did I interrupt you? Did you remember what you were saying? You were talking about the lady throwing something at the TV again.
Yes.
It's like saying like the Marx Brothers, A Night at the Opera is an opera. Exactly, Dave Plouffe.
So Fan brings a single rose to her dressing room after the performance. She got rave reviews.
Stefano.
This handsome young man comes and gives her a rose.
Handsome young man? Ooh.
And asks for her autograph.
Huh, Ginger? A handsome young man? Woohoo! Okay, so Stefano.
I thought we were trying to stay on track here. What is this? I thought we were trying to stay on track.
I don't know. I've derailed. I've derailed. There's nothing new in that, right?
No, there's not.
No, there isn't. So he gets a kiss from Betty, and I'm so like jealous that I turned it off.
First it was the cop.
Yes. This is where we're introduced to Inspector Alan Santini. And she thinks he's a fan.
And I want to tell everyone too, like I already mentioned to you, you didn't tell me that you and Ted already reviewed this movie like a year ago when I was looking up tappity, looking up reviews that I could watch as a supplement.
I can do this movie.
Was you and Ted.
I can talk about this movie with 10 different people and still it would be a different discussion every single time. So yes, me and Ted did do this a year ago. If you want to see a better version of a discussion on this movie.
Wow.
You can head on over to Dave, get us the link. No, I'm joking.
Dave will do that. Dave's good for that. Get the link, Dave. Go ahead.
Ginger, you know I love
whatever,
these discussions with you. Oh, come on. Come on. You're killing me, man.
So the fan brings the rose to her dressing room and asks for order. He's an inspector. Then the assistant brings the understudy a gift wrapped in pink. And I thought, oh, Lord. And the note for the gift said, good luck, little snake. With some foul liquid in this big, beautiful Chanel perfume bottle. She pours it down the drain. The boy gets unnecessarily close and pretends to choke. Then here's the mysterious person walking around. There's some woman sleeping. You see latex gloves. Pulls down the sheet, and that's when you get your first gratuitous nudity. You get to see her boobies while she's laying in bed. And I'm like, is she dreaming? What's going on in this scene? This is the seamstress, right? She's laying in bed, and the killer comes in and pulls the sheet down. Who is this person?
Yes, that is
Throw me here, Dino. Help me out.
Well, no, I'm trying to.
You love this movie so much, and you've seen it so many times. How does it not just immediately ping in your head?
Thanks for the link. If you guys want to go see a good discussion,
I told you Dave's good for that.
I'm talking about the opera. Me and Ted do a good discussion on there. So there's the link. Thank you, Dave Plouffe. Yes, it's Julia. She's the costume designer, set decorator. So she's involved in all that wardrobe and stuff like that. She fixes the dress, but she's having some kind of weird dream. Yeah, and I think it just all pertains to I mean, she's naked. She's laying in bed. What more can I say?
So then they show back at the opera. They open up a box and there's a rope and a dagger. The mysterious figure goes into the
I like
coffin
when they
costume
show
room.
that. They kind of show the killer's little kit.
His kit, yes, his little kit.
Which Ginger doesn't understand the context of a horror movie. But that little kid, that little suitcase, little tin thing that he's got going on there has rope, and his instruments is blade, which that dagger. What's going on? Oh, I read lips.
My daughter. She just walked by and she stubbed.
She stubbed her toe? No.
But she didn't want to scream.
Listen, scream. It'll make it interesting. And then Ginger, you're supposed to
So
make
I
it
muted it. I muted it and I said, go ahead and scream, baby.
Oh, I hope her toe's all right. I hate that when you stub your toe. Now I lost my train of thought now. What's going on? Wait, where was I?
I don't know.
Costume?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
his kit. The killer's kit. And there's a little tape, with needles in there.
Yes.
And this is one of the most iconic things. If you see that, you immediately know it's from opera, Dario Argento. It's something I've never seen used in a film before. I could be wrong.
Clockwork Orange? It reminded me of a Clockwork Orange.
A little bit, but Clockwork Orange didn't have needles. Clockwork Orange had the little, what are those called, to keep the eyes open and locked in place.
But that's what it reminded me of.
Right. I get what you're saying. But he would use it on Betty.
More than once.
Well, every time, this is the thing throughout the movie. Every time he killed a victim, and Betty was there, he would tie her up
and make her watch.
He would put the needles there underneath her eye, and if she blinked, it would, cause her eyes to get frickin' pummeled and bleeding and everything else. But it made it blurry enough that she would see the kill, but she couldn't make out the killer, who was usually masked anyways. But that particular thing was the idea of the pins under the eyes torture device came from a joke of Argento's. Argento said it would annoy him when people would look away during the scary scenes in his films. So he would jokingly suggest taping pins under people's eyes so they could look away from the film. It later materialized in this film, so it's pretty darn cool in my eyes. I think it's
your eyes.
It's not pretty cool in my eyes. Oh God, But the way he did it, especially when he kills Julia later on in the film, which we'll get to, he puts her in a glass case that mannequins dressed up in costume. Yeah, I know. It's so unoriginal, Ginger. It's so unoriginal. This Dario Argento guy, why wouldn't he think of something of his own?
It's about the symbolism, because you know what he did before this? He took her costume and ripped it to shreds. So instead of her costume in there, he put her in there.
Right. And hello, Dan Sheehan.
See, I get it. You think I don't get it? I get it.
Thanks for the little joke there. Did I miss anything else? The Return of the Living Dead, best movie ever made. I think Dan Sheehan, I think I've seen you come into the chat a couple times, and both times, or every time, one of the first things you say is Return of the Living Dead is the best movie ever made. Do you have stock in the film? Just asking. We just adopted a 140-pound Newfoundland. He poops like a dinosaur now. Okay, Dan. Maybe stay on topic if you're enjoying the discussion here of Dario Argento's opera. maybe talk about some horror. We're here for horror film and horror talk.
So the night
I'm
watchman or the security guy comes and interrupts the
trying to
guy.
figure you out,
Right?
Sheehan. Okay, yeah. So, we're down with the crows in the downstairs.
Go ahead with the crows. So the guy kills a couple of the crows because the crows attack him. Crows are smart and they figured
Yeah.
out how to open the cage.
Yes, they are.
And they all got out and they attacked him.
Ravens are too, yeah. Yeah, no, well, again, the killer comes and he's trying to get something off of the dress. He's ripping, oh God, I'm belching. He's ripping it with his blade and all that good stuff. Oh God. Nothing to drink here. Connie, you didn't warn me. No, I'm joking, Connie. This movie reminds me of a crack of Phantom of the Opera.
I think that's what he had in mind. I'm pretty sure that's what he had in mind. He must have been thinking of that. He must have been thinking of that. It's called opera. I mean, come on, Dino.
Listen, I'm sure that has to do a little bit of what's going on here. Or a Phantom of the Opera on crack, says Dave. Oh, movie news. And hold off for movie news. They're remaking The Exorcist. I think
And
that's
now
a mistake.
to Dino for movie news. Dino?
Yes, today we have just found out that they are remaking The Exorcist. And Dan Sheehan believes it is a mistake. And now back to the review and discussion. So yes, the crows get out. He kills a couple, but they're really starting to attack him, waking up the guy upstairs and thus coming down. I think it's the trainer of the birds. And he runs out the side door because, man, those crows, they're gonna eat him to bits.
And so the next scene is the understudy and the cute young boy having apparently lousy sex in what looks like a castle.
And they make it a point to say, yes, lousy sex. And she says, it has nothing to do with you. There's something about me or something. Like she's just not into, which makes him even more offended, I think, a little bit. But he took it well. He put his pants on and he went, but listen.
And he offers her some tea because everybody knows after you've had really lousy sex, what you really need is a cup of chamomile tea.
Yeah, to calm you down. Yeah, a little bit. Get you to sleep. And then she hollers, mint! Because she wanted mint. But
and as soon as he leaves, someone grabs her and tapes her mouth shut, ties her hands behind her, props her up against like a pillar or a column or something in the middle of the room, and puts ropes all around her so that she can't move and she has to watch. And out,
yes, this
out
is the other
needles.
scene.
Out come the needles.
Yes, this is the other very, very, very cool scene in the movie, in my opinion. Yes, he does this every time. He brings her to the pole, ties her up, puts the needles under her eye, and slowly Stefan in his uncle's house, which looks like some museum
Looks
mansion,
like a
whatever.
castle, an old medieval castle.
Yeah, and hello, Colonel Crypto. Hope everyone is having a good night. I'm not a big fan of many remakes. Well, this ain't a remake. This is Opera 1987 we're discussing, but I'm sure you're referring to The Exorcist, that Dan Sheehan, the movie news of the night. Anyways, oh God, Jesus Christ. Chimney Criminy. Reverse. So when Stefano approaches her at the pole, why does it go up? I'm at a loss, people. So Stefano walks up to her and
very leisurely, he's like, hey, what's going on? It's like she's got needles taped under her eyes and she's tied to a pole, and he's like, hey, what's
he should be
on?
running to her aid. He should be running to her aid to get those the hell off, but he approaches her very slowly and immediately, and again, one of practical effects done so well. Again, a little squeamish to people who aren't, triggered by that kind of stuff, but the heavy metal music.
Kill.
the heavy metal music kicks in. And every time they do this, he's just so point on with the music transition to the heavy metal music when the kills start. That it's just unbelievable. And the practical effect is the killer approaches him real quick, dagger, and it's this really cool dagger that goes right up, right here in the neck.
Through his jaw.
Oh, right in this fleshy part of your neck. Right here, and shooting quickly to inside the mouth, where you get an immediately through there, up through the mouth, and
bloody knife.
Yes, but he doesn't stop there, and he continues on, stab
Some
after stab
graphic
after
defensive
stab.
wounds. The guy's hand, he's just stabbing into his hands over and over.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
owie!
The killer has such rage in him, and I think that's portrayed
or
through,
her. We don't know if it's a man or a woman.
Right,
yet.
true, but I think I just spoiled it.
Yeah.
But I think the portrayal of the heavy metal, setting it all up through the heavy metal music, just the aggression, the brain thing, that weird kind of what's going on there, sets him up to, this is your typical like off the deep end kind of guy who you'll find out in the end has been like this for an awful long time, and is just now coming to kind of take revenge, if that's even what was going on, which we'll talk at the very end. But this scene is up there in the movie. Listen, all the kills in this movie are fantastic when it comes to a horror movie. This is another really good one, practical effects and everything. Let me see. There's a couple things said in here. Stefan was the bad guy in Beauty and the Beast. Okay, there you go. A double feature of The Return of the Living Dead and the remake of The Exorcist would be fun to go to at the drive-in. Dan Sheehan says. Yeah, a little, very interesting. I'm going to keep that on screen for a little while. Go on, Ginger.
So,
no. Oh, go ahead.
So he lets her go. After he kills the boy, he lets her go. And she just leaves. She just walks away. She just walks out.
Yep. Yeah, it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing that she's being tortured, but in the beginning, when he does do the tying up and put the needle under the eyes and stuff, there is this thing, he's kind of grumbling under his breath. And I'm not going to say what he says because it's kind of horrible what he says, but it's always the thought process of, I'm going to kill you. But then another victim comes up, takes the place of maybe her death.
But see, that's the thing that's so horrible about it. He tells her, I could take you anytime I want to. I'll kill you when I'm ready. So it's this horror, like this, the anticipation of like, when's he going to actually do it?
Patient.
Mm-hmm. But we find out at the end, she's kind of into it, isn't she?
No.
She's not?
No. Did you watch to the very end, the last 30 seconds?
Yes.
Credits rolled up?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it when we get to it, but yeah, no. Anyways,
I must have misunderstood because that's what I got out of it.
Well, there's nothing to misunderstand unless
What's the last thing she says to him?
Well, let's not talk about the end yet. We'll get to that really quick. I know listen, an hour's gone by already. Where does the time go? He says murder to the tune of 7 notes was a better film.
Oh, and the whole time that someone's watching from the vents, you think it's the killer. It's not the killer. It's a little girl.
Wait, what?
The whole time they keep showing stuff happening in Betty's apartment, and you see there's someone inside the vents. And you think it's the killer, and it's not the killer.
Right. There's, well, and again, trying to throw you off a little bit. And I think you didn't care for that apartment. That apartment was beautiful.
Oh, it was gorgeous. Yes, it was. Absolutely, yes.
And the way, listen.
How could she afford that apartment is what I want to know. And all that beautiful furniture.
She was an understudy. This was her first gig. But if they set her up there, who knows? Because, yeah, it's probably an expensive apartment. But it's in an old building which incorporates this air conditioning unit and these duct systems along the top of everybody's apartments, to where if you actually go and climb into it, you walk through and you get a glimpse down at everybody's apartment living everywhere. So it's a very odd thing. And I do believe that actually is the way they built that system in the old buildings back in the day. So just thinking that somebody at any given time could be down there looking at you is just kind of a creepy thing. Or even coming in and inside your apartment, you know what I mean? It's just, but yes, the little girl comes into play a little bit later on when she needs help in the apartment, which we'll get to. But at the moment, where are we at, Ginger?
Well, she leaves and she goes to a phone booth and calls the police and says there's been a murder and tells them where, and then she hangs up. So she doesn't tell them who she is. She doesn't tell them how she knows this happened. And the director just happens by. Her director just happens to be driving by, and he picks her up. And they had this weird conversation, and she's not even upset. I'm like, you just had a guy tie you up and put needles on the bottom of your eyeballs and watch him kill somebody. And you get in the guy's car and you guys are talking about the weather. Like,
it was an odd conversation, but it was an odd conversation that was spawned by Marco, the director. That was to throw you off too in Italian giallo fashion. By all of a sudden, Marco appears out of nowhere. How would he just appear out of nowhere? And he's going to pick me up out of the rain and get me in the car and take me back to the opera house?
I didn't suspect him, though. I never suspected he was the killer. He was always really nice. He wasn't even like creepy to her or anything. He was always really nice.
He was never creepy, but you could tell there was a little bit of kind of, I'm not going to say affection, but there was something there. I felt
yes,
it.
And we'll see that at the end, won't we?
Yes.
So he takes her home to her apartment. And he looks around. Yes. He looks around to make sure everything's okay. And he tells her there's someone outside watching you with binoculars. And she goes and looks, but the person's gone.
Yes.
So she leaves. The director leaves her there. He leaves her there alone. She closes her door. Her door to her apartment is about as sturdy as one of my closet doors. I'm like, I could knock that door down.
They're thin doors, I guess. I don't know. Listen.
So again, you see someone watching from the vent.
Didn't pay attention to how thick the doors were.
She gets upset and she says, Macbeth is bad luck. She shouldn't have sang it. She's really upset. She's like, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done it because Macbeth is bad luck. So then we see the dressmaker.
The pot maker. And the dressmaker,
and that's another thing with these giallo movies. There's always the dressmaker. There's always the sewing and the making.
Well, there's always fashion, and yeah. Always revolves around fashion. You know.
See, I get that. I get it.
Again, the heart of Italy. You know, this is just kind of culture coming into play in their films. Is what it is. You know, the Mecca is what we call it. Anyway,
so this person stabs the dressmaker with the biggest, strongest pair of scissors I've ever seen in my life. And then what does he do? Is he cutting into her? Oh, he cuts into her throat because she accidentally swallows a bracelet.
How can somebody go so quickly into a scene? I just don't understand. You just either want to stop talking about this movie so fast.
I'm just trying to get us on track. It's 9:00 and I still have 3 pages of notes.
But we'll get to it. But holy hell, this is another really cool scene, and you just went straight to it in one sentence.
Well, this is where we were.
There's a whole. I want people to visualize what's going on.
So I just gave them a sneak preview, and now you're going to go into detail and tell us all the facts.
Well, because the whole scene is set up to. It's just beautifully laid out, cinematography, everything. She does a great job, Julia, at being this kind of, mean-spirited woman who's just, I got to do more work. I got to do this and that. And takes that costume and she's trying to fix it for Betty. And there's a whole process going on where she's trying to find stuff and she ends up finding this little bracelet that's caught in the outfit, which evidently the killer somehow got attached to the costume. So the
When
bracelet's
he
going
was
to come
ripping
into,
it to shreds, he was
yeah,
cutting it to shreds, and that's the bracelet fell off.
exactly. And the bracelet's going to come into play here in a second when she says, "Ooh, there's an inscription, but it's very rubbed out and very old." So she eventually goes and gets a magnifying glass, finds out that it's some anniversary. There's a date on it. Doesn't really say any name or nothing like that, but it means something to the killer. So the killer, while she's gone off looking at that, has ended up getting Betty, poor Betty, in a glass case like
Where
a
her
doll.
costume was. It's the
Yes,
case where her costume was. Dang it.
right. And has her set up in there tied with the needles there. And she watches this whole progression play through. Heavy metal ensues, killing starts, and she hits him with an iron. He falls down. She takes the hood off and she goes, "Oh, it's you." And you think you're going to find out, and you don't. But no. Did you
I knew
mute
they weren't
yourself?
going to.
Oh, no, no, of course they don't. But they trick you into thinking they are. And stupid her, he ends up knocking her back, and then she gets the scissors to her.
And what kind of scissors were those?
A big fabric cutting scissors.
I've never
they're
seen scissors that big before.
oh, listen, yes, set design. You're going to need to, yes, they're very long cutting shears, which, or scissors, whatever, but they're shears. And they're pointed, and he kills her with it, but she falls down, and the bracelet falls down her gullet, down her throat. And he's like, "Oops, oh my Lord, how do I get that out?" His fingers go in there, and then the scissors, the shears, they
They
go
don't show
through.
it though.
They don't show it, but it's
But you can
still a
hear it and you
very,
know what it is.
yeah, very disturbing scene, because you hear and see that he's cutting through and he gets it out that way. And yeah, and then where are we?
He sets Betty free again, and he tells her, "I can take you whenever I want, wherever I want." So she goes to the police and she sees that guy again, the one that came to her dressing room. And this is when I started to kind of think he could be the killer. She goes home. She puts eye drops in her eyes. Hey, pup. She puts eye drops in her eyes and it makes her vision cloudy. And the police told her, "Go home. I'm going to send a detective over there." So somebody knocks at her door and she lets him in. She can't see him. She put eye drops in her eyes. Her vision's
I
all
was
cloudy.
wondering what kind of eye drops she put in there,
That make
because
your
I'm like,
vision cloudy like that. I'm like, what?
yeah, yeah. The oh God, I gotta get the name of this person now. Who was it? It was who was the police officer that was supposed to be coming up to keep guard?
Oh, I
Suave?
have it. Yes, Danielle Suave.
Daniel Suave, who actually is the actor. In this film, he's an actor, but he went on. It's the actor Giardo Suave. He went on to direct Stage Fright,
Oh, which is like
which we've
this.
done. It's the movie with the big owl's head.
Yes, and it's kind of like this. It's about a production that.
Yes. So it's intertwined there, where he was an actor in here, helped with production, went off and did his own directorial film, and a very good one, I thought. I think we rated that pretty good for what it was out of the ones we've been watching. So yeah. So anyways, yes, we are.
And then her
there.
manager shows up, and we still haven't seen Daniel. He's in another room. And somebody knocks at the door, and instead of the detective who's there to protect her, he lets her go open the door. And he just tells her, "Oh, just make sure you know who it is before you open the door."
Well, yeah, Daniel Suave ends up going into, and this kind of got me a little bit when the detective comes through the door and she's got the cloudy vision and stuff like that. First of all, I don't know what is it. Visine? She must have had medicated
No, it's
drops
not
on the ready.
Visine. Trust me, it's not
Must have
Visine.
had medicated drops on the ready. Anyways, good for her, I guess. Always have eye drops ready for to heal your eye wounds.
Yeah.
But he's like,
When
she don't
somebody
see him.
tapes needles under your eyelids, yes.
Yes. She don't see him, and he goes and sits in the room, and he's being all evasive, and you think he'd come right up to her and let her know that, but they're kind of throwing you off, letting this might be the killer who you think it is. But yes, they also get Mara Daria Nicolodi comes. Wait, what? What's going on?
Justin's telling Team Any Martunis not to talk about growing pot. Like, she's fine. It's actually legal in a lot of places. She's fine. You'll be fine, Team Any. I think that's awesome. This
Listen,
isn't 1985. It's
they
2000.
talk about it just about every night on that. I swear to God, 80% of everybody I come across is taking it in some form or another. But anyways, moving on. So yes, there's all of that. Mara comes
Her
in.
manager
Daria
comes. They go to try to. She wants to see this guy. She's like, "Well, who is this guy?" Because there's a cop downstairs too. She says there's a cop downstairs too.
She said there's a cop downstairs, Suave.
So who's this?
Exactly. So they're like, oh my God. So they go to the room and they're both there, and
they go to the
both
kitchen.
Yes, they both make their way in the kitchen and lock it so that.
And there's the colored lights. What's with the colored lights coming on? The green flashing light, and then the red and the yellow.
He used
giallo.
Well, and it's Dario. Dario puts on a good color visual, palette to this movie in certain scenes. So very well done. That's for sure. Emily, what's going on? Haven't seen you in a while. Never catch the mornings because I'm sleeping. But anyways.
So this is where the best camera work comes in, because the manager goes and looks out the peephole to see who's out there.
Oh, Dan. Now you're kind of pushing it, my friend. You might get more people.
Is Dan that line stepper we were talking about? That he's the line stepper?
Dan,
is he the one?
Yeah, I think I'm going to delete this, and then it's going to be the last chance you get. Everybody who is a moderator, just understand. If I showed or talked about movies that people actually seen, I'm talking about movies that I like. Okay,
that we want to talk about.
I can care less who the hell comes into my discussions or my chats or whatever. The people who are here are going to enjoy it, I hope. If they don't, they can move on. If you don't like the discussion, bye-bye. I don't know what to tell you. Last chance, though, Dan. You seem to come in here every time and talk about other things. If this was an open discussion on horror, that's a different matter altogether. But I talk about movies I want to talk about. If I only get 500 views on it, at least I talked about a movie I want to talk about. So there you go. Enough said.
Let's talk about the spectacular camera work in this scene right here.
Yeah, I know. Always getting me going.
Looking through the peephole. This is the best.
Yes. This scene, when they're in the kitchen and they see there's a knock on the door. You threw me off. Okay, so what happened to the real police officer goes to the door, right? How or is he gone? He's still in the apartment. Where are we at? I'm a little lost.
No, this is Betty goes to the police, then she goes home. She uses the eye drops. Her vision is blurred. Danielle Suave comes in, but she can't see him. Her manager comes in. He disappears. So they hide in the kitchen. And then somebody knocks on the door.
Yeah.
And so the manager goes over and looks. We haven't seen the real guy yet.
Right. So Mara, that's right. That's where we're at. So Mara, Daria Nicolodi, the manager for Betty, they both, she walks out and Betty goes to get the phone out of the room to call the police while she's at the door and looks through the peephole. The minute you see the peephole, you know the people. When you see the people, the peephole, you know something's going to happen there, right? Everybody says it. You know there's something's going to happen. This is a horror movie. But the visuals and the practical effects, the way he did this is so awesome at least you agree with me on this, is it's just unbelievable. So she looks through the peephole and there's a whole discussion going on with this guy. He's got a gun. He says, well, just let me in, you know.
Badge. She wants to see his badge.
Yeah, he says, I showed you the badge. You can't say it, and it's blurry. You can't really see it. He's just playing around with her and stuff like that. And she's looking and she's looking. And then one of the coolest I've ever seen, you get the gun going to the peephole and he's boom. And in slow motion, you see the bullet going
through the chamber.
The chamber of the gun, the peephole itself.
Spinning and oh man.
Breaking the glass of the peephole and through her eye. Out the back
of her head.
And immediately it shoots the telephone and the telephone blows up. It's just, what a great shot. What a great shot. And
these Giallo movies, they're always about the eye. There's always something with the eyes, the eyeball.
And glass. Anyways, I'm here trying to feel better from feeling depressed about going back to work tomorrow. J.O.P. I hear you, my friend.
And then they show the brain again. You see the pulsating brain. And I'm like, what is it with the brain?
Yeah.
So then she stabs the policeman. I guess Betty thinks that the policeman is the bad guy. So she stabs him and takes his gun. And the little girl comes out of this vent and she's like, come on. And I'm like, so this whole time I'm thinking it was the killer looking at her through the vent. No, it was the little girl. That's creepy.
Yes. Well, it's not creepy. It's just a troubled girl who's got a mother that's a piece of trash, and
yeah, I was scared for that little girl after the mother kicked Betty out. I was scared for that little girl. Like, what happens to that little girl?
It's just a way of this little girl to get away, and she's escaping through looking through these things and getting away from what's going on in her house. But so yeah, she takes her out and she eventually escapes. I guess we got to get towards the end here, huh? We've got 10 minutes or so. So we don't got that much more to go.
The little girl said she watched that person try to kill Betty. And I'm like, and then they, the mother confronts them. I know you want to talk about that. The mother confronts them and kicks Betty out. And Betty says, will you call the police?
Yes.
So Betty goes where? She goes to the opera house. All this is happening to her. She goes to the opera house because she said it's the only place where she feels safe.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, you would think, right? But
so she goes to sleep in her dressing room and she has this recurring dream, I guess.
Yeah, it's the recurring dream of technically her mother who's being hung up and watching the killer do what they're going to do and kill and eventually kill her mother, who she finds out that's her mother that's hanging up there, and she's the little girl who came and seen those visions, seen what was going on, seen it happen. So what ends up happening is she gets up, and I'm trying to speed through this, and Marco says, hey, I have an idea. Don't worry about it. Ravens never forget, as they say in the movie.
Someone that killed their friends
will be here in the audience for the second performance, and we'll let the Ravens loose, and they'll
show us the guy. Yep.
And hopefully, get the guy who did.
And that's what happened.
One's wrong, and they find out it's flying all around. And I do like the fact that out of all of the over 100, 134, something like that, crows that were used on set, they were only able to retrieve like 67 or something like that of them. So
the rest of them got away.
Yeah, they said, "The hell with this, we're out of here."
Funny.
so they're on their way to freedom. So and crows are very smart, which is why he put this kind of together. And
so what happens? The crow plucks out the eye of the guy, because we're all about the eyes.
And you see the crow behind afterwards, eating the eyeball.
He ate the eyeball. So then we're at Betty's dressing room, and the director comes in, and the cop pistol whips him. Why does he do that? He takes Betty up on the catwalk, just like in that other movie, Stage Fright. Everything's up on the catwalk.
Catwalks.
And he's telling Betty, "You're just like your mother. You're just like your mother."
Oh yeah. Exactly, just like your mother. So that's kind of when it really kind of comes out that, oh, you knew my mother. This is what her recurring dreams are.
So he
And he,
ties her to a chair and
yes,
blindfolds her, and he pours gasoline all around, and he says, "It's better that I die. I'll disappear. No one will ever find me. They'll never find out what happened." And he sets the room on fire, and poor Betty is tied to the chair.
yep. He makes her try to shoot her, but she
He puts
doesn't.
the gun in her hand, but she's blindfolded.
Right.
Don't you think this
So,
is like overly elaborate and unnecessary?
well, I don't know. I mean, listen, what does he do to escape? He throws a big dummy
And it took
in
them
the
days to figure out that it wasn't the dummy, that it wasn't a
yeah,
dummy.
that's listen, nothing's
Or maybe it
perfect.
was a dead body. Maybe it was the body of somebody else. Was it a
No, they
dummy?
said it was a dummy.
It was a
They
dummy, and
said
it
it was
took them a week to figure that out.
right. You would think DNA or just ashes. Anyways, yeah. So it was a dummy. Thus, he got away. Eye plucked out and everything, I guess.
Yep.
And then cops come. You think everything's fine in kind of the movie, and the killer's dead. You think that's it. And we flash.
Betty and the director are now in Switzerland. I think they're in Switzerland.
Marco and Betty are living it up in Switzerland. She's out there
Like the
watching.
sound of music, the Alps
Yes,
all around them.
watching the mountains and the Alps, and just it looks beautiful. And they're together evidently. So there was some kind of little bit of a connection there. But then she's out there and she sees some German Shepherd dogs running by, and Marco
And a helicopter.
Marco, who is looking through a telescope at four flies on velvet. No, but he's looking at
something.
well, he's got the string on a fly, just in phenomenon.
Yes, I'm the one that told you that.
Phenomena and four flies on velvet.
They tie a little fishing line around the fly, let the fly fly around.
Yeah, and he's looking at it as through the. It's weird, odd.
I don't know what he's doing. What is he doing? I don't know.
He hears on the TV that the killer. They're in search of him because it was a dummy. He was not found in the fire, and evidently she kind of picks up on that, and Marco hollers out. Run!
He's here! Run! He's here!
Yes. So she's
running through the mountains.
Yes, running through the mountains. Thus ensues the heavy metal music with the ending scene here. And a lot of people said this was unnecessary. They shouldn't have added this ending to this film. I disagree. I think it turned out just fine. If anything, the chase sequence that ensues here between the killer again and Betty, the heavy metal music, it just adds this kind of, on your edge of your seat kind of urgency to get the hell out of there. And you're just, oh my God, it's just.
Well, he stabs the director. First of all, he stabs the director. So the director.
Well, yeah, because Marco's running too. Yeah. And he turns around, stabs him.
And when he gets to Betty, he chases her. And when he gets to her, she says, basically,
she's
I'm exactly like my mother.
Yes, and I like this type of stuff.
And she said, I wanted you to win. She said, I wanted you to win. So she's all these people.
Yes. She's trying to convince him to come and be with her because she's a little messed up like he is, and she's keeping the same frame of mind. And they start to walk off together. He's going for it, and he puts his blade in his jacket, and she picks up a rock, and boom, boom, boom on the head. And here comes all the cops, dogs, everything. And the film ends with her crawling away, saying she's different than most people. She loves the flowers. She's literally
crawling on the ground with the flowers and the herbs and stuff.
She loves the flowers, the bugs, and the clowns. She says, the odd word to end with. I don't know. And she frees this little lizard, and then credits roll, and that's the end of the film. And I mean, so much to like about it. I love the film. I don't know what more to say. I mean, I don't know what that says. 5 out of 10. Sorry. Oh, listen, listen. Where's all the people when you need them? When I say listen, anyways.
Connie, listen.
The movie is an 8 out of 10 for me.
Oh, wow.
It's. Did you think higher or lower? You thought I would say lower? No, this is one of the best. This is one of the better Giallo films. This is one of his best. Again, Deep Red, still my number one. Suspiria, right there, almost number one too. Opera's great. Inferno is right there too, and that's another Dario Argento that he did right before this. And I think Inferno's brilliant. Inferno has its flaws, but there is more of a mysterious tone to what's going on in the big house in Inferno. It's
Oh,
it's
we're on
done,
Inferno now. We're
huh?
already done with this one.
Well, well, yeah, I guess we're done with this one. I give it an 8 out of 10. You give it a 5 out of 10. You're sorry. Kind of gives it a 6.5. I would say 10, my friend, seriously, says Justin. I go for that. J.O.B. Says, oh God, where'd you go? 5 phantoms out of 10 eyeball eating crows. Very cool. Inferno is brilliant. Yes, it is. Three Mothers is 2. Oh God. Oh, wait, what? Three Mothers is good, Justin? Mm. Anyways, Santa defeats the Martians.
We did something. We didn't do Three Mothers, did we? Or did we did something that
No.
referred to Three Mothers? We did something that had that concept in it.
Suspiria.
Okay.
That incorporates Three Mothers. There's a trilogy of movies, and Suspiria is the best movie, the only one you need to see. But the other two, not good. I'm an Argento nut, Dino, obviously. Well, yeah, I get that, Justin. But
Well, we were gonna do a movie.
Three
We were gonna
Mothers is awful. But again, everybody's to each their own with what they love. So
we were gonna do a movie called What was it called? And I couldn't find it. It was called Movie something.
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It was called.
Yeah,
I have
no.
it written
The
down.
next movie we're going to end up. And listen, Johnny Dollar Overnight. If you guys can give a thumbs up right now, that would be
Hotel
great.
Fear. Hotel Fear was what we were gonna do.
Oh yes. So,
but I couldn't find it.
And then we went with Opera, which thankfully
Because you said, Ginger, you deserve a really good Giallo movie. You deserve a really good.
I get what's going on here, but anyways, listen. The next thing is tomorrow. There is nothing. There's nothing on.
Monday.
Tuesday, there is the first annual awards channel show, but I'm not even sure about that. We shall see. Wednesday is Murder to the Tune of 7 Black Notes, 1977. Again, we're going to go on our little finish out the movies that we got, and then we'll eventually get to some other movies. And then I
tend to like the Giallos that have the corny title, like they're trying to do too much. I actually end up liking those more than the ones like this that are trying to act all serious, like this art form or whatever. I'm like, just give me the little goofy Giallo movie. I kind of end up liking those better.
Johnny Dollar Night After Day. Yeah. Bob Bailey. Got them all. Got the series time stamped, so you got that there. Harry Scott, listen. Love it. Also, I mean, I'm going to be doing a stream with the channel's name is called Gory B Movie. And we will be doing a Universal Monsters beatdown fight night.
The verses.
Yes.
Dino loves those.
Yeah, so this is the link right here. It'll be a half hour after I start Johnny Dollar. So if you're into the old time radio, you want to just listen to that tonight, that's fine.
Oh, this is tonight, Dino?
This is tonight, 10:30.
Okay, okay.
Half hour after I start the stream, I'm going to go over there, and that link, I'm going to be on Gory B Movie. Part of the panel just talking about versus the Wolfman versus the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Mummy versus
Batman versus
whoever.
the Shadow.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah. So, anyways, with that said, Godzilla beats them all.
Hi, Justin.
He's big enough to beat them all. Yeah, that's for sure. I kind of agree. Although some of those creatures can get inside of Godzilla and tear his insides out if they can get to the heart. Anyways, until next time.